Louis Boyar and Mae Cohen both descended from Eastern European Jewish families. The Boyars made their way to Chicago from San Francisco, and the Cohens arrived in Chicago via Ellis Island. Their families lived across the street from each other, and Mae and Lou became fast friends. Following the untimely death of his father when he was still a teenager, Lou quit school to financially support his mother and 5 siblings, a pattern of assuming financial responsibility that he would maintain his entire life. Lou and Mae were married in 1923. They moved to Southern California in the late 1930s. It was in California that Boyar formed and spearheaded a business partnership with his friend, hotelier Ben Weingart, and financier Mark Taper. Their flagship project was the creation of the city of Lakewood, one of the first pre-planned post-World War II suburban communities based on the mass production of modeled single-family homes. Boyar and his partners completed the building of 23,000 new family homes in less than 3 years. Lakewood also featured a modern shopping mall and was the first city in the nation to contract for all its municipal services. This innovative real estate project earned them the cover of Life magazine in 1952. While Lou Boyar's business savvy fueled his success in Southern California real estate development, his wife Mae served as his moral compass and made sure he attended to causes near and dear to her heart. For example, Lakewood's primary design using frontage roads and landscaped medians was the result of Mae's directive that all children should be able to play safely in front of their homes and walk safely to school without the fear of being hurt by cars and trucks. Family lore says that Mae Boyar's interest in Zionism was kindled by a Jewish school teacher in her youth. We also know that a meeting with the young Golda Meir in Chicago during the 1920s deeply influenced Mae, starting a treasured relationship between the two women. Despite being stricken with rheumatoid arthritis, which subjected her to pain and limited her mobility for much of her adult life, Mae Boyar worked tirelessly in support of Israel and Jewish causes. Her enthusiasm and passion inspired her husband Lou and their extended family, and served as an example of Jewish volunteerism and philanthropy for the entire Jewish community of the greater Los Angeles area. Together, Mae and Lou were a force of nature to deal with. In the mid-1940s, at the urging of Golda Meir and David Ben-Gurion, they became deeply involved in the efforts to garner political support in the United States for the Jewish homeland. It was during this period that Lou Boyar used his influence with some of the powerful American political figures of the time, including President Harry S. Truman, Secretary of State George Marshall, and Eleanor Roosevelt. In addition to their efforts on behalf of the Jewish state in the United States, Mae and Lou traveled several times to Israel in the 1950s. It was from these visits that the idea for the Boyar School emerged: to establish a secondary school for children with promising intellectual abilities whose environmental and financial circumstances would otherwise have prevented them from the continuation of their studies. Lou Boyar would have been one of those children himself, so he very personally felt compelled to step forward and work to make such an educational facility possible. In the summer of 1960, Lou suffered the personal tragedy of unexpectedly losing Mae, his wife of 37 years. This represented a turning point, and from that moment forward, Lou Boyar devoted his time and energy to honor the memory of his beloved Mae by taking up all her causes as his life's work. A tall, gangling figure with a bounce in his step and a smile on his face, Boyar pressed forward to make Mae's vision a reality. He completely dedicated himself to building the Mae Boyar School and dormitories in Jerusalem, The initial project materialized in 1961, when the first 80 boys and girls were selected by the Ministry of Education and Culture to study in Jerusalem. New classes were subsequently added each year using temporary premises and scattered through the high schools of Jerusalem. Pearl Goodman, daughter of Lou and Mae Boyar, was present at the dedication and opening of the Mae Boyar School in 1964. In 1973, she took her family's commitment to Israel even further by making Aliyah with her husband Bob and 3 of their 6 children. We, the children of Pearl Boyar Goodman, are so very proud of the achievements of our grandparents. Their legacy, a commitment to something greater than yourself, finding a way to positively impact the lives of children, leading by example. Lou and Mae Boyar would be proud to know that 50 years later, their vision of social responsibility and contributing to the growth of Israel lives on at the Mae Boyar School. It continues through the promise of each of you, through the successes of the talented Boyar graduates, and as a result of the efforts of a committed faculty. In that sense, we all share a part of the Boyar legacy.